3.
Becky from
2,
Miami just woke up.
1.
Good morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony show. I don't know why that. There we go.
There we
Took
are.
a little second for that transition to actually take. And as we start the show, if you're looking at the chat right now, it says we just launched a hype train. What are you doing over there, Carla Marie?
Moving my face out of that screen so I don't have to stare at it.
So before we put the money shot on the screen and go through the hype train, because you'll see at the top of the list over here, hopefully we can keep the hype train streak going.
We'll see.
I think there has only been one day in 2020. Granted, it's still early in the year, but I think there's only been one day that we haven't actually hit level 5 of the hype train.
It's okay.
Which is fine. And it looks like we're at level 3 right now. But I want to go quickly through the things we're going to talk about and then jump back into the money shot, as we like to call it here on the Carla Marie and Anthony show.
We Anthony.
Also, on Happy President's Day, make sure you leave some cookies and milk for the ghosts of the presidents that will come visit you. Is that what you're supposed to do on President's Day?
Yeah. They have no idea what gluten-free cookies are, though, so don't leave those.
We are going to talk about No Trophies Norway, which Carla Marie wants to talk about.
So excited.
Florida company will give you a burial at sea. I'll explain that. And it actually might make a little more sense than the headline suggests. Wow, I can't talk. We do have a huge announcement on tomorrow's show, which is February 22nd, 22. So 2/2.
Dear God, apparently you already
22.
said today that it's 2020. When we kicked off the show, you said we've met.
Did I really?
No, we had the hype train streak for all of 2020.
2022. Okay. And obviously, we're going to talk about Cocktail District, which is creeping up on us very quickly.
So close.
So we're going to get into all of that. But let me put the money screen back on here, because we are in level 5 of the hype train already.
What are those creepy eyes?
That means, what does the I mean?
Somebody did something.
Yeah, I forgot. Maybe, I guess it would be bits that are being donated.
Wait, Lenny,
gifted?
today's your birthday? No, wait. Let's get confirmation before we waste a good song.
Okay.
We wasted the good surprise on Lenny. I don't understand how people everyone sees everything in the chat way better than we do.
Well, we're further away and there's lights in our face. So it's a little difficult with the spotlight shining right in your eyeballs.
Oh, yesterday was your birthday, Lenny. I think we haven't played it in a while.
Happy birthday, Lenny, and to anyone else who is celebrating a birthday. Let's see. Who else do we have? Anyone else celebrating a birthday, or just Lenny? Only person born this past weekend. There is something that I forgot who said it earlier in the chat as we were watching the countdown timer tick down. Someone asked what happened to 93.3, which was Cube, then it was Power, which is why we moved to Seattle originally. Then it turned back into Cube, and it has been Cube since. And the simple answer is we have no idea. We do have theories as to what's going on.
No, we don't have any intel. We just have 12 years of, I would say 6 years, because that's how long we've been here, of just going through idiocy to kind of guess what's next.
And we're trying to go through all of the cookie crumb trail of dumb moves
decisions
that management in Seattle, who's been here forever, all the same managers. And this is the craziest part.
This is what I have been every time I just get mad about it. This is what I yell about.
Also, by the way, we just hit hype train level 5. So thank you very much, Carla Marie. You can start pouring up them shots. But there's two things that get people, whether you're involved in radio or not, really annoyed, especially with what's going on and what has happened over the years with Cube 93.3, is the corporate excuse for tinkering with that station so often. Is they'll say things like, oh, well, hip hop just doesn't do well in Seattle. When in reality, it's just poor management always does poorly wherever it goes. And they'll blame everything from the music to the artists to the DJs and not actually look inward. And this is something more of a corporate thing. But for whatever reason, the people who make the decisions or sign off on decisions very rarely feel the wrath of what happens when those decisions go poorly.
So the amount of on-air people, jocks, DJs, whatever, talent, whatever you want to call them, morning show hosts, that have been like turned over and over and over again in the last 6 years in that building alone is absurd.
Yeah.
But the amount of management that has changed, minimal, if any. And a lot of time it's on their own that they wanted to change. They're not like they haven't been let go, right? It hasn't been like, okay, we need to change management because the station is doing poorly. It's very rarely that situation.
You lost me. I'm
saying they keep getting rid of talent.
Oh, yeah.
And there's nothing that changes. And they're like, what's wrong? You're the problem.
Yeah, the management, that's what I was saying before. The management rarely feels the wrath of their decisions when they go poorly. But there's a couple theories that we have. I think one theory is that they're going to take the sports station and just simulcast it on the FM frequency. So 950 KJR will end up also being on 93.3. That's something that a lot of cities have done recently.
Yeah.
Because people just don't get AM stations as often as they used to.
And they're not as clear.
They could put a rock show on there because rock seems to do pretty well. And they have the Woody show based out of LA, which is an incredible show. They could also...
We're just spreading blatant rumors. These are theories.
I know for a little bit they might be putting the show that replaced us on Cube. And one of the theories is that because that show hasn't done as well as they thought it would do, they're going to put it on 2 stations and then add up those ratings to give a higher number to advertisers.
That means everyone needs to add correctly, though. So good luck with that.
We'll see what happens. So that's all the information we have. It's all people theorizing.
It has nothing to do with our announcement tomorrow. Literally nothing.
Oh, yeah. And I think my favorite
There's a lot of people right now that are like, oh, my God, this is happening. And Carla Marie Anthony have something coming on. No, it's happened. Like, that is literally rumbling constantly. And I'm getting DMs like, what's happening? I'm like, nope, just same time.
I forgot I was saying something. And then you jump. Oh, no. I think one of my favorite things is as people have messaged me about it, because I didn't know anything that was going on. I haven't listened to any of the iHeart stations in over a year. Mm-hmm. I listened to KZOK every now and then when I was driving to go snowboarding, and every now and then I would listen to our friends Strawberry and Lizette on Cube 93.3. Other than that, never listened. And a couple of people sent us DMs about what was going on. And my favorite response was, I actually don't have any idea what's going on.
Yeah, it was like kind of crazy.
And it doesn't concern me at all.
Well, we're talking about it. So
we talk about a lot of things that don't concern us. 90% of the things we talk about don't actually concern us. Mm-hmm. But I'm just so happy that my life will continue going in whatever direction it goes in, regardless of what happens on any of those stations.
Anthony.
What? What?
Coconut Love said I need a bit more light. What did you do to my light?
Nothing.
Look how dark I am.
Well, maybe you should sit
Come
up.
on, I got new blonde.
Oh, yeah. Did we talk about how much time you spent getting your hair done?
I don't know why you're like shocked. I literally told you it was going to take that long.
It was like 4 hours.
Well, yeah. The first like 20 minutes was talking about... Oh, the ice moved. Was talking about how... what I normally do with my hair, blah, blah, blah. Then mixing all the chemicals, all that needs to happen. And then I don't go under a heater normally because that kind of fries the blonde. So it has to set without being like the hair dryer thing.
Mm-hmm. So you just have to air dry it.
And a lot of people don't realize I have so much hair. Like, it's not that it's thick. I just have a lot of hair and it takes forever to get it done. Anywhere, I'm telling you, literally anytime I get my hair colored, 3 to 4 hours.
So I'm glad Marijuana 6 is in the chat because that's my barber, Miles. And I would say at the longest that I've ever spent in Miles' chair has to be like 50 minutes.
Well, maybe you should get some
Miles
frosted.
and I, we chat a lot too.
Well, would Miles give you some frosted tips?
I don't know. I don't know if that's part of what he does. I'm sure he could. I'm sure he could figure it out.
Yeah,
he's a great barber. But yeah, that's a long, long time.
Tori Grace said hers takes 6 hours sometimes.
6 hours. And then how much does it cost? What's like an average?
I'm trying to think.
Because you went to
$275.
The voodoo hair person.
$275, $300-ish.
That's crazy.
I'm in a city also. Keep that in mind. If I got this done in New York City, it would have been minimum $600.
That's insane. Marijuana said he has zero idea how to do that. So maybe it's an experiment we can run together. Cheers, Carla Marie.
Oh, wait.
What?
We're drinking gin this morning.
Okay, cheers. Cheers to everyone who helped us get through the hype train. Shots of gin are weird. That's on you. This was your decision. You got to finish it. Just swallow it. The longer it stays in your mouth, the worse it is.
Why did it taste like that? Gin's weird like that. I love gin, just not like that. Never again.
So gin is great when you mix it. It gives you like a floral flavor. But when you take it as a shot, it just feels like you're eating wildflowers.
What the heck?
All right. We can now move off.
I hope that didn't ruin gin for me forever.
We can now move off of the money shot. Oh, I got to take off.
It's burning a little bit.
Okay. I don't know what to tell you. This is all your decision. You good there, Carla Marie? First, this is something you want to talk about. So thank you to everyone who got us through the hype train streak. Kept that going one day. Are you all right?
I'll be okay.
Okay. Carla Marie, focus here. Got a show to do. This is your topic.
What is it?
This is the Norway thing?
No trophies,
okay.
Norway. Okay. I was watching the closing ceremony of the Olympics yesterday, and Norway enters what they call the bird's nest. That's the arena where everything was happening. And they had mentioned that Norway doesn't do trophies for little kids when they play sports.
Okay.
And I was like, oh God, could you imagine we implemented that here? The parents would literally flip over homes and burn everything down.
I kind of like it.
So I was like, all right, let me hear more about what they were saying. They're like, obviously, as they get older, like, yeah, it happens. Like, I think it's probably middle school to high school age it starts.
Okay.
And I quickly read through an article this morning that was about the same thing, but from the last Winter Olympics. And yes, Norway, great place to ski, snowboard, all of that. But they always crush in medal count.
Yeah.
And and the theory is, and you read the book, The Nordic Theory of Everything. The theory is that because they teach kids at a young age that it's about having fun and being with your friends, being outside and snowboarding, getting out of the home, not having to do your homework and getting to play, and it not being a win or lose. Either way, it's fun. That work ethic and that fun transcends as they get older, and they're better at it for that reason.
That makes sense. I mean, there was something I was reading in, it's a book called Think Like a Freak, which is by the guys who do Freakonomics. There's a book and a podcast series. And one of the things they said is like the 10,000 hour rule, right? To become an expert, you have to do 10,000 hours. Makes sense. And it's true. But generally speaking, you'll never be an expert at something if you don't enjoy it, because you're not going to put in the time properly, right? So that's what I think that Nordic idea of not giving trophies to kids is like, yeah, if they're not going to have fun doing it, they're not going to be good at it down the road. So let's make sure they have fun. And you could do the same thing outside of sports. You could do it with learning, right?
Right.
If kids aren't going to have fun while they learn and while they go to school, they're not going to want to do that. Therefore, they're not going to get good at it. But if they have fun while they do it, you're going to want to get better.
They shouldn't know grades either.
Take the video game model. And yes, there's winners and losers in video games, but you're not getting, and I guess there is competitive gaming, but at its core, when you're at home playing a video game, you do it because you like it, and then you do it more because you like it, and then you get good at it because you've done it more because you like it.
Yeah, because it's an escape, right? And there is no, I may be sad, or I may, there's no nerves going into it. There's no, I put in my best, and as a kid, right? As an adult, we understand. You put in your best, doesn't mean you're going to win. But as a kid, you're like, well, my team still lost, and I worked hard. I must suck. And if you're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, that can be detrimental. But especially because parents, when you think about the sidelines of a lot of games, who's the problem?
The parents. Well, they're the ones on the sidelines.
Well, the kids on the bench can be the problem.
Kids on the bench are really the problem. They're not doing shit. They're just sitting on the bench. Yeah. I was one of those kids.
I'm not for everyone getting trophies. I'm for no one getting trophies.
So here's a different way to think about it too. One, generally speaking, kids aren't doing anything that glorious before high school anyway in the sporting world. So why give them a trophy for it? Yeah. Right? Make sure that when they get a trophy, it's something that is earned. And a lot of people are saying trophies are for winners. And I'm all for that. Once you hit late middle school, high school, give out trophies. The one caveat, and it's only because I saw it recently and it looked pretty cool, is we talked about this in the fall and in the winter. My little cousin Ryan, who won his the nationals for his age range.
And he's how old though?
He is 10 years old. He won nationals for his age group in football. I saw them play. Yeah, it was literally the Super Bowl. They were played in Camping World Stadium in Florida, in Orlando. Huge thing. And they have these big, gaudy, replica rings, like Super Bowl rings.
So stupid.
And it's so dumb, stupid. But it also looks so much fun.
And here's the thing, here's what would happen every time. It would be okay, and make sure you bring your envelope with money for your trophy.
Well, yeah.
I signed up for this shit and paid to sign up.
But I will say, at that level, right? They beat every other team that was in their way. They didn't lose a single game. They won the last championship that was available to win, right? There's not another group in their age range in the country that they had to go through to prove that they were champions. So maybe at that point,
I would actually argue that, because didn't they have to fundraise to get to whatever point? If there was a team that couldn't fundraise to travel, then maybe they were the best team in the country. And that's what a lot of this is.
Maybe.
A lot of it goes back to the town that has the most money that can afford to send their kid wherever it is.
But I think what I'm saying though is, if you reach a national level of some sport, maybe you can get one. Let me finish my sentence.
Sorry.
Maybe you get something. Mm-hmm. But if you're just winning your town lacrosse game, you probably don't need a trophy for that.
Well, no.
You know what I mean?
You see the trophy at the end of every cheer and football season at the awards dinner.
And that's dumb. Because you just got it for that's literally a participation trophy.
Scotty, great point. I do have one of these, but I cherish it. But he said, same with medals for a 5K. It's such a waste of metal and ribbons. It's like stickers showing you did it isn't enough. I would have loved a sticker, actually. At least I can put it on a water bottle or something.
Yes,
I'm not going to wear my medal.
Because I've done a couple 5Ks. I've done a couple one half marathon. And every time I get a medal for something like that, I just think to myself, why are you giving me this? Even the climb, the thing that we did in New York City.
We got medals.
It's not a competition. It's literally an attraction that you show up to. They put all the gear on you. You walk up to a really high height. You look over. Maybe you lean if you're bold. And that's it. And
everyone gets it.
They give you a medal at the end of it, which makes no sense. I threw it away immediately.
I don't know where mine is. Probably with my medals.
And I do remember I ran cross country for half a season. Hated doing it, but I did it because I was like, oh, maybe I'll stay in shape my junior year. Ran cross country for half the season. And when I decided to quit, I had one more race left, and it was an invitational cross country meet. And I came in 40th. Okay?
Did you
40th.
Get a medal?
I got a medal. I guess they gave medals to the top 50 people. And I remember they gave me the medal as I crossed the finish line.
Were there 20,000 people?
No, I mean, there were a lot of kids.
Because that would be a good thing then.
It wasn't 20,000.
Okay.
But it was a lot. It was probably over 100-something kids, or probably over 300 kids that were running. But I remember I was a junior in high school. Mm-hmm. I crossed the finish line, and I used to take it really easy the first 3 miles of a 5K, and then I would just sprint the last 0.1. And I remember I sprinted across the finish line, and they handed me the medal, and I handed it back. And I said, this is a mistake. Mm-hmm. And they said, no, you get a medal. You know what? Did I win? I said, no. And I just took the medal.
Everybody else die?
It's probably somewhere in my mom's attic right now, but I definitely did not deserve.
Well, so Cora is talking about, she said, for some people, it is a huge accomplishment to finish a 5K. And that is.
Yeah, but are you doing that for yourself, or are you doing it to display? Does anyone display those medals?
Some people might. It might be their hobby, right? It might be running a 5K, and this is their hobby. And I have run one 5K in my life, and that is my, I ran a 5K, and I love talking about it. But Court talked about how she loves doing it, and she loves collecting the medals, because remember I had signed up for the Disney virtual 5K?
Yes.
There were 5 of them, and they sent me the medals before I did them, and then I was trying not to look at them because I wanted to complete each one. Uh-huh. And then you revealed them. Remember you dropped them all live on Twitch one day? We were still streaming downstairs.
Yes.
I think I might have thrown them out because I never ran them.
Well, yeah, if you didn't run them, you definitely.
But the Disney ones are cool. You'll get a ginormous Buzz Lightyear spaceship.
I guess.
We should run a 5K when we go to Disney in June.
I mean, it's not hard.
But in Orlando?
It'll be hot.
Do they have them in Disney?
And let me be clear. Running a 5K well and running it fast is hard.
29:11?
Completing a 5K, if you do a little mixture of walking and running or a very, very light jog, I think most people can finish it.
Okay. Well, it looks like Disney doesn't have summer run, so we are just going to get a medal for drinking around the world.
Let's see. The Vegas R&R.
Medal glows in the dark.
Oh, is that the rock and roll marathon? Says it glows in the dark. That's pretty cool.
All right. Then we're just going to have to start doing 5Ks to get cool medals.
I'm good with that.
We're just going to pick the ones that have, we're going to pick the 5K we run by the design of the medal.
We're going to move on from trophies for a moment. And talk about death. Okay. So I saw this
Quite an
article come through,
accomplishment.
and everyone can accomplish that. Everyone will accomplish that at some point.
That's one thing we all will accomplish.
But we've talked about the idea of people being buried in pods that turn into trees before. You know what I'm talking about? I think you were the one that actually brought it to the show. Mm-hmm. You can basically, instead of being put in a casket, you get put in like a sack, and your body decomposes and becomes fertilizer for a tree.
It's great. I would love to become a tree.
What if, Carla Marie, you could become a coral reef instead of a tree?
But no one can really visit me. Like, no one in my family is going to put on scuba gear to ever come see me.
And this is where it comes from. There's a woman, she's 77 years old, and they did a profile on her. She has signed up with a Florida company that will make you into a reef ball. And a reef ball is something that is thrown into the ocean to help artificially create more coral reefs.
Throw it into the ocean and a giant oil tank thing comes and runs you over and kills you.
Well, I think you sink pretty quickly. I think you go to the bottom.
Okay.
Right? Because that's where coral reefs are. And
oh, wait. It's called Eternal Reef.
Yes. Eternal Reef.
Sunny Survival.
That's the company that I'm talking about. And what they do is you get cremated. So different from the one where you're buried. Because I think when you're buried, they just put you in a sack and throw you underground. I'm sure there's a more scientific way to do that. The coral reef version of it, though, is they cremate you. Then they put you in basically a gigantic ball that has little perforations in it. And that ball, packed with your ashes, is called a reef ball. And then they drop it to the bottom of the ocean or the sea. And you become a coral reef at some point in hundreds of years.
I wonder if you get to pick the color. Or is it like whatever your aura was?
I don't know how that works.
Augie says, why am I not surprised Florida gives the U.S. a bad rep? I don't think this is a bad thing at all.
It's definitely a Florida thing.
It's not bad. No, I'd say it's more of a Washington, Pacific Northwest thing.
It's Florida because they've got a huge coastline and they do things that are a little weird and a little different. But I know my Aunt Nuha, who was visiting 2 weeks ago. Huge, and even my brother, huge scuba divers. Love being underwater. Why not bury them there?
Fred the Mailman said, reef balls is what happens when I stay in a hot tub too long. And Lenny said coral grief.
Coral grief is good.
Okay, so for them, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No one in my family would ever come visit my coral reef.
I don't think the idea is that anyone's going to visit you.
I guess not, because how do they know where I lay?
Because both my aunt and my cousin are the only ones really in our family that scuba dive. I'm not going.
I need to look more into the tree thing.
Actually, how about this? Your dad has a boat. Does he not?
Yeah, but they don't want to be burned. My parents, it's a thing.
Burned?
Cremated.
Oh, cremated. No, but that's not what I'm talking about. Let's say, you die tomorrow, right?
Oh, my dad can come visit me.
He can float on top of you.
No offense to New Jersey, but I do not want to be a coral reef where there are actual bodies around me in New Jersey.
That's true. If bodies creating reefs in New Jersey worked, we'd have the Great Barrier Reef in New Jersey.
The tree one is interesting because I guess I never really thought much about the fact that it would be your actual body.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Buried in the dirt. Mm-hmm. They would need to take out my breast implants.
Yes, they would. I think they put you in a pod. So once you decompose, you then become fertilizer for the tree.
What do you mean a pod?
I don't know. A pod.
I follow
a big bean.
What are they called? The people that cut you open when you're dead. What are they called? Mortician.
Okay. No. Mortician is the person that dresses you in the funeral home, right?
what do they call it?
The person who does the autopsy?
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual...
Someone will tell us.
Yeah.
I follow a guy on TikTok who does them, and he answers a lot of questions, and it's crazy that, like, we never knew these things until we're asking this person. Because it's not like someone has lived through it and can tell us about it.
Medical examiner, coroner, embalmer,
whatever. The things this man has talked about. So, yeah, like, they cut a Y, and he talks about how, like, if you have, like, if someone said, what happens to your tattoos? He's like, nothing, but if you have a tattoo here, like, it's going to get cut because they cut a Y into your chest.
Do they always cut you? Like, everyone gets cut?
Yeah, because a lot
What if I don't need an examining?
To embalm you, they need to take out your organs and stuff.
They do it with everybody?
And he showed the thing that they use to sew your mouth closed.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that.
Someone was like, do I have to wear a bra? Like, do you put a bra on me? He's like, if your family brings a bra, and I'm going to put in my will, do not put me in a bra for eternity. Also, he said that if you die with a tampon in, they take it out.
I guess it makes sense. If they're taking out your organs, they may as well take that out as well.
Right?
Let's see.
I got to find his page. I'll share it later in the week.
Renee, thank you for the subscription with Prime. Appreciate that very much. And there was another way that someone was, damn it, where did it go? It was something about a firework. Someone's ashes. Oh, here we go. I have a friend who had her husband's ashes put in fireworks, which is also pretty cool.
My luck, I'd be a dud.
Not as good environmentally as being buried and coming back as a tree or being made into a reef. But still a very creative way. Maybe do both, because when you get...
Oh, I'm sure there's enough.
Exactly. When you get cremated, I've heard that, like, what you get, if you get, like, an urn or whatever, is, like, 10%.
But it's a mix of people.
No, it's not a mix of people.
Yes.
Why would they give you a mix of people?
Because sometimes they'll burn several people at once to just give you part of it.
I don't think that's how that works.
Okay, I'll wait till...
I don't think that's how that works at all. But I do know that there's a lot of waste. Like, you only get a small percentage of the person's ashes to keep.
Yes.
What? Did you see someone that
they don't turn on the incinerator until enough bodies are available? Thank you.
Yeah, but are they all? They're not on top of each other.
Well, they're not putting you in separate baking shelves like the oven.
No,
they don't care.
They just put you side by side.
No, just.
Someone said for animals that's true.
Have you ever seen ashes IRL?
No, I don't think so.
In real life, just in case.
I don't think so.
There's like green pieces in it. That's what our dogs looked like anyway.
Well, your dogs maybe had other animals in there.
Other green dogs?
Yeah, maybe a green dog was in there.
Caroline is in here. She needs earmuffs.
But I do think if someone's going to bury me at sea as a reef, right? Or as a tree, okay. Since my body is going to be used for environmental good, then maybe a couple of capsules can be used for a firework.
Okay.
You know? Because I know that fireworks aren't great for the environment. Oh. But if I'm going to do the other things, what if I did all three? Because I probably have enough ashes for all of it. Or no, because if they bury me for a plant or for a tree, it's my whole body, I think.
So Court, who I did know, she worked at a vet. So she said for dogs, they can either have a communal cremation where they all go together, or you can pay extra for private where you get their ashes back. You would get a private one.
Okay. Well, you should just do all of them at the same time.
Well, they all need to be dead at the same time. And oh my God, the tragedy.
Let's see what else we have here. Oh, let's see. Wendy said my late husband's ashes were just white gray. So not green like you said with your dog.
I remember just seeing like green pieces.
How old were you?
High school.
Oh, okay. So you weren't like a little kid that made it up. Let's see. Mergen said, according to Google, they cremate you alone, or at least if they're reputable funeral homes.
Okay. Lenny mentioned you could be turned into a diamond. Does your dad do that?
My dad does not do that. My dad does not deal. I don't believe he deals with fake diamonds at all. Oh no, he actually does now.
I am
sorry, man-made diamonds. Which I think he does actually now deal with man-made diamonds if people request it. Which people are doing.
Can you please read Fred's comment?
Fred's comment?
Red.
Gotta find it.
Right there.
Okay. When I retire, I'm going to start a business delivering people's ashes to their dream destinations. It'll be called Money Earned. That's pretty good.
U-R-N-E-D.
That's actually a great business, though. Because, like, I can't trust that the people who are grieving my loss will make the right decisions.
Yeah, like the family's going to argue about when they should go on the trip if they want to. No, I'm just going to give it to Fred the mailman.
Although I believe, even though people do it all the time, you're technically not supposed to go to like a national park and just like release ashes.
Okay.
But people do that kind of stuff all the time.
Can I choose where I want to be a tree? In national park, thank you.
You probably could.
But that not on the coast, because then eventually I will turn into coral reef when the whole coast falls off. Oh, maybe that's a great way to be both.
No, I think that that's actually something the National Park Service should do. What'd you see, Carla Marie?
Martha just said, Fred the Urn Man.
That's pretty good. We are going to move on, though.
I can't.
What?
That's great.
I'm trying to think if there's other ways to creatively dispose of a body. Not like because I'm trying to dispose of one.
Garbage comes tomorrow.
There has to be a lot of bodies in like landfills, right?
Or how do they get, like, they got to be at the bottom of a dumpster?
Well, I think that normally what would happen if we're going like mob mentality, New Jersey, New York style, is the mob controls the waste management company. And then they can just like dispose of bodies. And it's like you don't ask any questions when you see a really large bag come through and then you just dump it.
Over Christmas, I remember this was a news story. They were looking in the landfill for some New Jersey mobster's body. And I remember saying to my dad, but like, when did he die? And he's like, oh, like however many years ago. I'm like, so they're looking, I'm confused. They're looking now. He's like, yeah, the guy in prison or who's died, I don't remember the details, was tipped them off about like when it was so they can see when it was dumped or whatever. I don't know. Not a job I would want.
I just think the TV shows that I've watched that deal with disposing of bodies, they seem to do a much better job. Like Breaking Bad, they just put the body in a vat of acid and it decomposes and it disappears. Good. And then in Sons of Anarchy, they just had a guy at the crematorium. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
On retainer, basically. And they could just take bodies, cremate them, and then boom, you're gone.
Yeah, I don't ever wish that I need to be worried about that.
Oh, Ozark, similar thing. And this is not a spoiler. People die in Ozark. You learn that very quickly. I think they have a crematorium guy as well. Oh, because they bought a funeral home.
There you go.
So they had access to everything.
My dad works for a funeral home. I can ask him if he's ever had to hide a body. Just kidding. He has.
This is where the mob was really smart. And most mobs, whether you're in New York, New Jersey, there's mobs everywhere, is they just buy every business that they need, right? So they control all of it. They don't have to worry about going to some guy and be like, hey, I'll pay you now. They just own it.
You know, I kind of want to call my dad and ask him. He may know some of the answers to the morgue questions because he works in a funeral home.
Yeah, that's right.
And he has had to go pick up bodies when they die, like in people's homes. Like
pick them up physically, like put them in a bag and carry them out?
I feel like he did it for an actual family member once. Oof. They don't like pick them up, throw them over their shoulder and walk out of the house with them.
Well, yeah, I know. I understand that.
They go in a bag.
They put you in a black bag and they put you on like a wheelie stretcher, right? Or do they carry the bag out? Because then carrying a body, and like not that I've ever carried a dead body. I mean, I've carried a casket, but carrying a human's body is weird. Because even if you can lift that weight, they're just
like I said, you're screwed. If you pass out and there's a fire, you're on your own.
It's just like everything.
I'm grabbing the cats,
hanging in different places. It's weird.
My dad's job at the funeral home, is currently. So if you ever find yourself at Joe Nazaire Funeral Home in Lyndhurst, New Jersey,
if you're dead,
your family member might be. Joe Nazaire has the same birthday as me. Fun fact. That has been my fun fact my whole life. Every time I see him, I'm like, hey, birthday twin, what's up? Anyway, so my dad works at the funeral home. You may catch him opening the door and holding the door open for people. You may catch him carrying a casket. You may catch him driving the hearse because legally he can't drive living people in a limo, but he can because he doesn't have that license. Oh. But if you're dead, it don't matter.
I guess you're cargo at that point. You're not a real person. You're not like a living person.
Yep.
Someone said, Jen said they carry the bag out. It's a 2-person job.
I've seen them on stretchers, but I guess only on TV shows.
Yeah, an SVU or whatever. But Heather then said they put them on a gurney. Maybe it's just whatever resources you have available. Maybe, and I'm sure getting a gurney, what? Your cat?
She just appeared.
Yeah.
Don't listen to this.
I guess it also depends on like where you're wheeling them or carrying them out of, right? Some places it's probably easy to just put them on a gurney and walk them out. Some places it's probably easier to just carry them out.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Like steps and stuff. Wait, who am I kidding?
What? I don't know who you're kidding.
I remember the person died in our old apartment building and I watched them wheel her out. No, like in the bag.
I remember the person died. I don't remember you watching them take her out.
Yeah. That was traumatizing.
Do you see what's happening here?
Because it was the same person who locked her cat out of the house.
Yeah, people die. Every now and then there'd be like an ambulance or someone being wheeled out of that apartment building. But it's also, you've got hundreds of people living in one square block. It's going to happen. Is everyone enjoying seeing Caroline here?
It looks like it.
Okay.
We should do one cat a day.
We need a there should be a Caroline emoji somewhere. Caroline, if you keep trying to bite that cable, I'm going to throw you out of here. Not like physically throw you.
Sky burials? Listen, what's happening there? Is it like a...
You got to explain what a sky burial is.
Tiny girl.
Who's that? N Goosey 3? I feel like that's not a real thing.
Is it like...
Imagine
ashes?
like the old carnivals where they'd like shoot someone out of a cannon. That's a sky burial. Okay, Caroline, you're out of here. See you later.
Would that be considered an oxymoron? I guess so.
A sky burial, yeah.
But is that like throwing your ashes from an airplane?
Oh, that would work. I mean, it's unfortunate for the people that get the ashes rained down on them later on. But they probably wouldn't even know what it was.
Okay. I'm not even going to subscribe to that.
That they chop the bodies up and let the vultures take them away. I'm sure it could work. And you got
wait.
What?
While we're talking about dead bodies,
Oh,
I was watching this story on King 5 Investigates. King 5 is our local NBC station here, and apparently there were a bunch of people in Washington who basically signed their family member's body over to science when they died, which is something you can say you want in your will, and they did. They were like, you know what? Like, she wanted this. Like, okay, where do we go? And they looked around, and they were told you could do whatever you want with the body when they died. They chose to donate to science, and I don't want to throw UW in this, but I think it was like they thought they were giving it to a UW place, whatever. Turns out it was a private company that basically does whatever they want with your body when you're dead. And some of them, they discovered this a few years ago, were conducting live autopsies where anyone could buy a ticket and come watch.
Why would you want to do that?
And then the guy's company folded here.
Yeah.
So he collected the bodies, went on a road trip, and tossed them in the desert in Arizona with the toe tags still on. And someone were like, what the hell? And they found body bags, and these families were contacted like 2 years later, like, hey, your mom's dead body was found in an Arizona desert. And they were like, these family had to go through it again. I was watching this last week, like, what the?
That's crazy. I wonder what I would do if someone's like, hey, this person's body was found here. I'd be like, well, I don't need it anymore. Like, just
do you read
keep it where it is. I don't know. And then,
okay,
so
sorry, Tish. She said this guy was making me sad. Yeah, we're supposed to be like.
Well, you know what? That does actually bring us to kind of, and this isn't the announcement we're making today, but tomorrow we do have an announcement. No. But the goal of that announcement is to make sure that your mornings are better every single day.
Yeah.
As opposed to sometimes going down, even though I think this is a fun conversation. It's weird. I don't get weirded out talking about death. I don't.
My mom does. She's like, I don't want to know about it. I'm like,
no, I don't mind talking about it in abstract terms like this, right? Because I'm not talking about specifically anyone I know that is dead or dying or close to death.
Well, but some people listening may have that.
Yeah, and they could relate it. And that's not to say that I don't have family members who are in that category or people that I know and love that are in that category. But I don't know. I think when you talk about it in an abstract way,
yeah,
makes
I don't know.
Easier.
It is weird. Sometimes I'll go down this hole in my mind that I have to pull myself out of, thinking like one day, you're going to be old, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
And no, hold on. Open wires. Ma'am. Thank you.
Why don't you just get her out of here?
She likes being in here.
She clearly doesn't.
One day,
You gotta move your seat in.
you're not going to be here anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
But
and no one's going to remember.
We're going to move on from death because I feel like we've talked about death for like 30 straight minutes.
Happy Monday.
We do have an announcement tomorrow. And we hope you can be here. I know today is going to be a lighter viewing day because it's President's Day and people have off from work, so people are sleeping in and whatnot. We have reminders on social media. If you follow me at Worst Anthony, the Carla Marie, or our joint show or joint account, which is Carla Marie and Anthony, there will be reminders everywhere. Hopefully we'll have a newsletter to remind you to come here and check it out tomorrow morning. But hopefully you can be here to join in what we hope is launching something really, really cool.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
That's what I can say about that. And it's Martha, even though you cannot be here, you know how to get all the information.
Yeah. It's okay.
What?
We're not like announcing that we're dating or anything. We already did that.
That's long gone. Any specific time? We don't know yet. So just be here tomorrow.
What? Elizabeth said I get married tomorrow. I decided this past weekend.
Well, congratulations.
Ooh,
that's
it's a
awesome.
Great date, though.
Yeah. I think a lot of people will.
Maybe we should just get married.
It's kind of like when in 99, September 9th, 1999.
That was one?
Yeah, that was 9999. I think PlayStation may have been released that day, too. One of the PlayStations.
Maybe we're releasing a PlayStation.
People use dates like that.
To be jackasses like that.
January 11th, 2011, right? Yeah.
So what's the next one?
And November 11th, 2011 was a big one too.
We're done. We don't get another one in our lifetime? It would have to be.
No, because you could do like
30.
February 3rd, 23. 23. Not as cool. Yeah, but 2033. Duh. And then 2044. No, 2044 wouldn't work. That was stupid too.
No, 4444. It won't be this. It won't be as many numbers. It won't be as many. It'll be like the last. It'll be like two.
Yeah, I was thinking of
me too.
44.
Me too.
As the second.
I was like,
number.
there's no 44th date.
12 was a big one too. I need to look up when.
Damn. So in 33, I'll be turning. What year is this? 22. I'm turning 34, so I'll be turning
45. You know, there's people who are 45 watching.
I know, it's just it's so crazy. Listen, when I turn 40, not that they weren't inside, but all fucks will be going out the window at that point.
All what?
F's. I don't want to say too many times.
Oh, I thought you said thoughts will be going out the window.
Those probably too.
Let's see. My wedding is 3/25/23.
The 23rd wasn't a Saturday. So what? Who cares?
I mean, the 22nd isn't going to be a Saturday. And it's interesting because, and I actually like what Neon Climber is doing. Now, Liz, you can also enjoy the shit out of your wedding day tomorrow, right? Do whatever you want. But I think if you expect a big wedding and you do it on one of those like fun days that doesn't land on a weekend, you just have to lower your expectations because not everyone's going to take time out during the week.
Please, that's a great way to
go to your wedding.
Lower your count. Hold on. It's me. Meek said she's born on 10/10/10. Wait. Oh, your birthday fell on 10/10/10. I just realized I'm like, are we the same age? Oh, well, that's cool.
What?
That she had a birthday on 10/10/10.
That is pretty cool.
Will I ever have a cool birthday? 3/5. I already had my golden birthday.
So they're getting married on 2/22/22, but their wedding isn't until next year, their full wedding. So they'll get their license, which is actually something one of my friends just did recently.
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day, he announced that the weekend before he had gotten married. They decided to go down to City Hall. They'll have their reception and do all that stuff later on.
Part of me wants to do that whenever it is that I get married, just to take away the stress and just be like in The Office, like Jim and Pam escaped their wedding to go get married at Niagara Falls. Spoiler alert. And
show's been out for like 12 years.
Just to nothing else matters. Like, we're married. That's it. You can't take that away from us.
Cindy K says, hi, says, you two make me feel young. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you very much. There was something else. Oh, but I think sometimes, and I think my friend and his now wife fell into this category. They started dating. They had a baby. Yeah. A lot of it happened during the pandemic. And I think they just felt like, you know what? Instead of trying to figure out what mandates and guidelines there are going to be, let's just get the legal part out of the way. So, because a lot of it, like health insurance, things like that are just a lot easier when you have your marriage license. So it just makes sense to do that. And when they have a kid and they're, signing guardian paperwork and whatnot, it's a lot easier that way. Sense.
funny you bring this up, Anthony.
Okay.
It's also an issue when it comes to your REI membership.
Being married?
Yeah.
Why?
What do you have at REI? What's it called? Co-op?
Oh, I'm like an REI member, yeah.
You paid to do that?
Everyone does.
I'm asking.
Yeah.
So we can elaborate what it is, because I don't know.
So it's basically, REI is a co-op, which means if you are a member, at the end of the year, you actually get a dividend based on how well the company does. So they like pay you out, and it's like $80.
For life. Well, Nick Wax said it was like 25.
Yeah.
Which I think it was.
I said I got paid $80 last year.
You did? Mm-hmm. In cash or in gifts?
In a gift card.
And you didn't use it, did you?
No, it expired. Which I don't know. They might still, because of the pandemic, they might be like, okay, I get it. People weren't traveling.
Okay, so I ordered a pair of sneakers from my sister for my Christmas gift, because that's a long story. But anyway, I ordered them through Anthony's REI account, because when you buy more things through the one account, you get like gift cards, discounts, whatever. So I always use Anthony. So I log in, I do it, I order the sneakers, I had to return them. And so the woman was doing the exchange for me, and she was like, okay, oh, and they're under Anthony? And I'm like, yeah, that's the account. She's like, and who is that? And I was like, that's my partner. I hate saying boyfriend. I feel like I'm 12.
Okay.
And I knew that was going to sound less official. She's like, okay, but because I was trying to change the address. It was your old address.
Okay.
And she's like, I can't really change anything unless I know that like you're legally partners. And I was like, well,
what if you just said you were married?
They would have asked for my ID, maybe it would, but even then, like, I don't have to change my last name. And I said, well, we're legally business partners. She goes, that works. And that was it. And I was like, it's so frustrating that you can't take me seriously unless I.
Well, no, but it also, first off, they didn't check anything.
What if Netflix starts doing that?
Hold on. They couldn't change anything, or they didn't check anything, so they really shouldn't have changed anything. Because you really could have said anything. You could have said, that's my husband. You could have said, that's my business partner. You could have made up anything. You could have said, that's my son.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have mattered. But I do like that they at least ask, and they should have some sort of like documentation, because why should you be allowed to change all of my information as just a random person who walked into a store?
And knew your phone number?
Thousands of people know my phone number.
You don't know mine.
I don't actually know your phone number.
Also, I tried making you an appointment at the dermatologist that time, and they were like, sorry, you need to be married.
Yeah, maybe you should stop doing things in my place.
You weren't going to do it.
No. I don't need to go to the dermatologist right now.
You had something you had to go. I don't remember.
Let's see. Can you become domestic partners in Washington? That's legal. I don't know. It's nothing I even thought of. So. Yeah,
I just say, though, a lot of times when I'm talking, if I'm in a conversation with someone business-wise, whether it's something I'm doing on my own or as a show, I refer to you as my partner.
Okay.
Because I just feel like it's more official, and it doesn't matter in that sense if I'm talking about like life partner or business partner.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I hate saying boyfriend.
Let's see. Changing your name is so time consuming, says Jenny KL7.
My sister was at her wit's end doing that. I think she may have stopped the process.
Well, Jenny said she is 10 years into their marriage and still gets things with her maiden name.
It's just, it's torture. And my sister, the government never figured out a way what to do with women who get married after getting their vaccines. So my sister's vaccine card technically isn't right because it's her maiden name.
Oh, okay.
So somehow they effed up, and she has her old ID in New Jersey. They normally take it, from what I understand.
Or they punch a hole in it at least.
And they didn't. So she uses that when she has to show her vaccine card. But if you got married, like she called and they were like, we haven't figured that out yet.
Let's see. Angela in Spokane said Washington does not have common law marriage, which I believe is when you're just living together for a certain amount of time in different states.
New Jersey does.
Someone said Florida has 10 years, but it does have legal domestic partnership. I don't know.
Nick Wax said, my wife's name is Erin. She used to work with kids, and she didn't want to change her name because Erin Wax sounds too close to earwax. And kids are evil, and they would pick up on that.
Let's see. So now I said I have all my old IDs. They just have a hole in them. Yeah, I think I had an old ID, and they just punch a hole in it.
If I didn't lose it at a bar, yeah.
There was something else that I needed to say, and now I can't remember what it was. Which means it probably wasn't that important to begin with. Thank you to everyone who's been hanging out with us. The last thing we're going to get into today before we sign off and then come back tomorrow with a nice little announcement, is tickets are on sale for Seattle Cocktail District. If you have not purchased them yet, we hope you do, especially if you're in the Seattle, Western Washington area. I know we do have Sweet Eats by V, who's flying up from Los Angeles to come. I don't know if anyone else is making a long trek over here.
Yeah.
But if you do buy tickets, we do have a special Carla Marie Anthony area that you can get access to. So if you type in right now, try it out, type in exclamation point and the word cocktail.
It's there.
And you'll get a link. Now, when you get to that link, you'll scroll to the bottom and there will be a spot for an access code. You put in CMA in the access code.
And new tickets like pop up.
Yeah, and then you scroll back up and you'll see the two different sessions that we have. There's a morning session where we'll be popping some champagne together and celebrating Carla Marie's birthday. And then we'll celebrate her birthday in the evening session with a little bit of cake.
I'm very excited.
And we do have our friends Ricky and Jake and John and Erica. They're all flying up. They're going to be doing some of the stage announcements with us and hanging out.
And I got some intel yesterday from Seattle Cocktail Club. I went with them, Amy, not them, just really Amy, to the Seattle Wedding Expo, which was so cool. And they kept asking us when our wedding was. And we're like,
oh, like the two of you together?
No, they didn't know what to do. I think they were like, so who's engaged? Neither of us. Oh.
So get the hell out of here.
Do you have a date? Did you pick a venue? Whatever it was. And at being an event production company, that's why I went with them. That's what they were looking for. That's what, different cool. There are so many cool things you could rent for parties, engagements, whatever. And when I was there, Amy was telling me about how we keep seeing people in the chat that are like, I don't drink as much, but like my husband does. I don't know what to do. You can exchange your drink tickets for some food tickets.
That's cool. And there's food, there's music,
once you're
there's it's a cool place to just walk around and hang out, and then we'll be there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can hang with us if you don't want to drink.
Yeah. See Tacoma Swifty and Sweeties by V are talking about that right now.
Awesome.
So yeah, so you can do that.
And we do know some of the food that will be there.
We can talk about it. I asked.
Okay, go for it.
Watson's Counter. It's a place we talk about a lot. There will be Fruity Pebbles French toast.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
And alcohol will be involved, I believe, in some of it.
It's from what I understand, it's like an infused whipped cream or a syrup. So it's not really going to be like alcoholic.
And I bet there might be, I'm not, don't quote me on this. There might be non-alcoholic options.
Okay.
We'll see.
Let's see. Sadly, I'll miss the birthday bash at Seattle Cocktail District. It's okay. If you can make it, fantastic. Okay. If not, that's all good.
It's going to be a good time though.
Carla Marie, I think it is time for us to say goodbye.
Okay, Mickey Mouse.
What?
At the end of the Mickey Mouse Club.
Is that what he says?
Now it's time to say, well, it's not.
I don't ever remember actually watching the Mickey Mouse Club. Yeah. I know it was like a thing.
Shows.
I didn't do the Disney Channel. I was more of a Nickelodeon kid.
We only got Disney Channel in the summer as kids. Do you remember that?
I don't, because I didn't really watch it. I was crazy. Nickelodeon.
Channel 29. Only got it in the summer.
Nickelodeon and Warner Brothers when they had the WB, and it was all cartoons after school. That's all I really watched.
Yep.
Both of those. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Thank you for keeping our hype train streak going and getting us through hype train level 5. We will see you tomorrow. You look great.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.